Yeah, if I had to do any editing or something, I would seriously try to pawn it off on my daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I would do.
Well, I especially love how Word thinks that it knows things better than you do, even especially
Oh,
after you tell it you want it to do something. Like,
yeah.
for instance, today, what it kept doing. So the original documents, because this is standard for everything, is that it automatically defaults to 8.5 by 11 letter size. And I don't want that. I want A5 digest. So I go to the top of the document and I tell it A5 digest and I select whole document. It instead thinks that whole document means page 1 and 2, but pages 3 through 86, no, we're going to leave them as letter. And it.
Oh, well, if they do 87 back to the original document, that would be funny.
Right.
Yeah,
So.
well, yeah.
So yeah, I had to fight with that. Margins. I want narrow margins. Whole document. Nope, you're gonna have to redo them every 3 pages. What the fuck? What the for like no reason. Absolutely no reason for that.
Wow. Yeah, that's shit.
Yeah. I mean, and Adobe InDesign, I don't know what team they have working on it, but it is pure garbage. In college, back in like between 92 and 93, I took some page design classes.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated it then. But most of my hatred was because the software was so kludgy and getting it to do what you wanted it to do was nigh impossible. Here we are, fast forward to 2023. I've got a hockey puck on my desk that has an artificial intelligence in it that will order groceries for me. I don't even have to tell it to do it. It will know when it's time. But you open up Adobe InDesign and it's the same horse shit that they had in 1992, the same garbage. And I'm like, really, guys? I mean, seriously? We've made no advances in page layout and page design in all those years. I mean, come on.
Wow. Yeah, I can see where you're getting with that. That would probably irk me too.
Yeah, it is irritating as hell, but it is what it is. So, Mr. Gabe, I see you're playing from home tonight.
Oh yeah. I just got my microphone shut off. I got some screaming monkeys getting ready for bed.
Oh yeah. That's always a good time.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with monkeys. See, we're doing our, in theory, we're gonna go right on into our turn in, right?
That is the likelihood. Yeah, you guys should be able to finish this up tonight. And
Awesome.
Got to get through one more system.
Yep, you're going to be at Serendip Belt, and you'll need to refuel, and then make the long jump to Zuflucht, and then you should be out.
Well, good. Yeah, it'd be great.
Of course, the entire enemy navy is in Zuflucht.
Well, it is. Yeah, there is an Imperial naval base there, or yeah, it's funny because it's not marked on this map, but it is there.
Is it an Imperial naval base or is it local naval base?
No, it is Imperial.
Okay.
So we're good. If we show up and we should just be able to say hi. You need to tell your commanding officer we're here.
Well, I don't know that we're technically working for the Imperium itself, right? I mean, we're working through a blind company.
Yeah, you guys are basically working for Imperial Intelligence.
Yeah, so they would be hooked up more with the scouts than.
They're kind of their own entity.
Yeah.
They use everybody whenever they want.
Oh yeah, well they're good-hearted people then.
There's George.
Hey guys.
How you
Everybody
doing?
hear me?
What's up?
You just missed it. We had strippers.
Oh, you caught my show then.
Oh. I was thinking about wires, but it's a joke. Every time I got a strip wallpaper, I tell people I'm being a stripper today. Yeah. People that know me are like, "Oh, that joke again." But every once in a while, I'll fuck around and catch someone that ain't heard it. So that just reinforces the idea that you should tell the joke a lot. Someone could have forgotten it.
Does anybody else have a wafer jack in their brain, or is it just me?
I think it's just you.
It's just you right now, but we have, I have a list.
Yes, I gave you guys a list of all the crap that you basically parted that guy out for, or those two guys.
Yeah.
Reading the rules on having that stuff installed, I think I'll wait for an actual hospital facility. It's not that I don't trust you. It's the
environment.
Cafeteria,
Oh,
the cafeteria table with some Lysol. It's probably not the best environment to get that stuff.
Well,
done.
yeah, I mean that's a big part of it. There are essentially, if you read the rules as written, you do not want to do surgery unless you have a hospital available. Like a med bay, it's going to be better than nothing. But doing surgery on the cafeteria table is not going to be. It's not going to go well for you.
I should be able to do it when we get into, back to Imperium space.
Oh yeah.
Any one of the systems there. I've got credentials, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because there's a science forensics.
Yes.
Wafer jack that's really good. And an investigate 2 and a computers 2. I don't have science forensics. I'm not sure whether that's my cup of tea.
Well, those wafers, you don't even need surgery for that. You just plug them in. They're just USB drives.
Yeah, man. Any one of those that you want, I don't give a shit. I just like collecting them off people.
Yeah, no, they are. You need a wafer jack to use them, right? So
correct.
Yeah, so that's all you right now. No one else. I mean, I've got some wafer jacks I can install. And some armor.
He opens up his trench coat and there's all these wafer jacks and a spinal cord hanging there.
Yeah. But I mean, when we get to a good facility, I mean, I can provide some free upgrades to people.
I'm not sure how well that dermal plate recycles. I mean, that's shaped to the person's body, right?
Yeah, I would think that dermal plating. I would think that it would be custom made to the person. I mean, that doesn't.
But with 2 sets, I should be able to at least, kind of splice and play with it.
Yeah. I would
say
that since
do a lot of time.
The way I would. What's the protection on that? Do you remember?
It was just 2, I believe.
Was it 2? Because I would say that because it is taken from somebody else and not custom fitted to the person, it would probably only give 1. And the reason for that being is that the dermal plating the subdermal plating isn't going to overlap like it should.
Fair enough.
So it would only give you +1 protection instead of +2.
Yeah.
And that's not exactly expensive augment. I mean,
no.
Dermal plate 3 is $100,000.
Yeah, of any of them, dermal plating is one of the cheaper ones. The way you make up for that, though, is by the recovery process sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got like literally I'm RoboCop, right? Because I have like the subdermal armor protection 3.
Nice.
Because that's all I got for mustering out was just crap. That's why I have no money. And then I got a wafer jack capacity bandwidth 4, and then I have the Neurocom, like audiovisual component of it. So I didn't come out with a lot.
I mean,
but
Neurocom, you don't even really need. You don't need a transceiver or anything. You can just.
No, I don't. It's all built in.
Yeah, you can talk to people with your brain.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I've got cybernetics. I'm going to invest more in it when I get points.
Reading the subdermal armor, I don't see how it could be replaced in anyone else. It's an actual augmentation of the bones and the skin itself.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's once
I
you
just pasted it into Roll20.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I'll just keep that. I might use it to reinforce a robot or something.
Yeah, it actually meshes with the skin and bones.
So I probably couldn't retrieve it.
No, I would say not.
Okay.
It'd just be a mess. You'd have just a whole bunch of
It's
removed
okay.
bones and harvested skin.
Yes.
That's fine. What I want to try to do while we're, doing a whole bunch of jump space. Oh, we're fixing to get into the system right now, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to get to that. Hold on to that thought. Welcome to Deepnight Revelation. We'll be picking up where we left off last week. These guys decided to forego going to Glory and decided to jump to Serendip Belt, someplace that they aren't expected to be, and they will refuel in Serendip Belt. But before we start, we'd like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They're just products that we really like. Tonight, we'd like to thank Fable Beard Company. Fable Beard Company makes beard balms, oils, beard wash, co-wash, deodorant. They have spray and colognes. And each of their scent profiles is a different fantasy character. Tonight, I'm still working my way through my scents from the holidays. I am wearing the Hillbilly, which is from actually the fall scent line. And it smells of spiced apples and maple bourbon. It's quite nice. But I'm sure they have a scent profile that you would enjoy. If you're a first-time purchaser, go to their website, and you can create an account at fablebeardco.com, and you can put 2 beard oils into your cart, and if you use the code FIRST in all capital letters, you can get that second beard oil for free. If you're a fan of our Traveler games, we do have a website via Obsidian Portal. It is in the description down below. And yes, I'm going to update this particular site. I've got so many writing projects going on. I've discovered there's not enough hours in the day to do everything that I need to do, especially when I'm fighting with 2 pieces of software that don't do what they're designed to do. But we have the adventure log on that site, written in the manner of news service articles, and each of those articles details a little bit of extra information. Usually, a lot of times it won't be about the travelers in particular. It'll be about things going on around them or in the environment. But as they do things that are more newsworthy, they will take more and more of a front page notice. Probably not so much of a front page notice in the islands. These past couple adventures, since they're doing pretty well being on the down low. These guys took a lot of precautions, and because of that, they skipped a lot of the events that would have normally befell them. But if you're a fan of the page, if you like the content, please go to the front page and give us a thumbs up. We like to see the fan likes, and we hope you enjoy. So, where you guys left off, you decided to jump to Serendip Belt. You were going to, because you knew that, what was its name? You knew that there was a ship called the Urshi that you had learned by interrogating one of the spies that had been following you. You knew that the Urshi was waiting for you in Glory. And this was kind of their last attempt to get you because they knew that you could get out of the system. And if you make it to Zuflucht, then you're basically out of their clutches. And you also learn that they need you because they are incapable of decrypting the data boxes that they've got. They've got those data cores, and they're not able to decrypt them. You would, of course, have the codes given to you by the Imperium to do so. But these guys, it's way beyond their tech level and pay grade, and they need somebody that has those codes. And so they kind of want you guys alive. They don't want to. You have that in your back pocket that anybody that tries to catch you is going to at least want you alive, and you can use that to your benefit. If they catch you, I don't know if that's going to be necessarily a good thing. That could make surviving to be a unpleasant prospect, so to speak. So you guys, you come out of... Well, first of all, before we do that, so you were saying, Bocephus, what were you saying you were doing while in jump?
I want to try to take the knockout juice venom, and I want to see if I can get the DNA off that creature that it was removed from. I want to try to grow the venom sac in my bioreaction chamber.
Interesting. Yeah, go ahead and make a that is a very good question. Let me look at my skills here. I would say that this would kind of require a couple of... the first skill that you need to roll is a science biology plus your intellect or education check.
Okay, this will be at +2. Oh, I'm going to set my dice up. I'm about to roll D20s.
I have done that.
I like this little dice roller, whatever. I can adjust it. Well, that's an 8.
Okay, so you are able to get some DNA. The next thing that you will need to do is you'll need to make a science chemistry plus intellect or education check, and you don't, because you only got an 8 on this, you won't get a bonus.
That's fine. This is still a +2. How about a 13?
Okay. And the last roll is, let's see here. Last roll is a medic plus intellect or education check. This is a difficult check 10, but you get to add +5 to it.
Oh, I can't miss this then, because that gives me a +9 total. And so 17.
Okay. So your bioreaction chamber is set to make a venom sac from one of these creatures.
Yeah, which I'm guessing that thrashes my dose out.
That would take the entire dose.
Yeah.
Because basically you put it through a centrifuge and you spun it out and separated all of its components, and it is now null.
Fine. Hopefully this works out, because this shit's great. I could probably sell it.
Was anybody else doing anything while you were in the jump? Let's see, what are we looking at here?
Just my usual.
So 4-week jump, just your usual.
I want to make sure I spend time getting everybody mentally buzzed and calm and chilled to fight off deep space insanities or whatever, you know?
Yep, I would say that would work well for you. So...
My race is all about waiting out things and patience. It's generally, we don't fight off invaders, we just wait them out.
Right. Or use your bottlenose to attack their gills. But you know.
That's what it said in the description of the. I mean, it was like in the book. It said, "Hey, man, you know, this is how they react."
So you come out of jump in Serendip Belt. Serendip Belt does not have a main world. Instead, the quote unquote main world is a asteroid belt that is 57.5 AU out from the primary.
Oh my.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it is way out there. I would think that your astrogation would probably put you close to wherever the main world is, or at least at the 100 diameter limit. And of course, coming into a belt, the 100 diameter limit would potentially change, like, daily. So
There's a gas giant though, right?
there are
No.
3 gas giants, and there is one fairly close. So Serendip, the belt itself, or Serendip Belt, is 57.5 AU out from the primary. The large gas giant is at 73.5, so it's way out there as well, which would be suitable for refueling. Serendip Belt, believe it or not, they they have colonies built on all of these asteroids, or in the asteroids, more or less. And Serendip Belt as a community, it hosts almost 1 billion people. So it's a busy.
It's a lot of belters.
It's a lot of belters. So did you want? They do have a Class C, or a Class A starport. So did you want to dock and refuel, or do you want to force Jack to make a difficult piloting check to do wilderness refueling?
I'd say whatever Jack feels comfortable with.
So the difficulty on that would be 10 plus.
Wow.
I say roll the dice on a wild refueling. I
Okay.
think that's more interesting.
I mean, you can make a day of it by taking extra time, but
Yeah, you could take extra time on it. Although, I mean,
You don't have to skim so deep, do you? I
Yeah,
mean,
you
like
shallow.
according to the companion, you can, yeah.
the shallow doesn't get you as much, but you got to make more passes, but it's easier.
yeah, you could do a shallow pass.
I think things are difficulty 8.
Yeah, that would drop it down to average 8. But I mean, if you want to just refuel, do normal wilderness refueling, it is difficult 10 plus.
Okay, we'll do the regular and see what happens.
Okay, so make a piloting plus dex check, and you got an 11. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah, your first day of refueling goes well, and where did I put it?
There wasn't anything funky in terms of like anything in the system that we need to worry about ship wise. I know that we were warned that there was a ship waiting for us in, was that Gloin?
Yeah, in Glory, yeah. But no, but as you are refueling, where did it go?
Who's our scanner, motherfucker?
Yeah, did you guys want to make a do your normal procedure and make a sensor scan?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, as soon as we come into the system, that's the first thing I'm gonna be doing.
And I'm going to be doing the comms to see if there's any.
And I'm going to be recharging these superconducting supercapacitors.
Oh man.
Comms are working real good today. I don't know. Nobody's talking here.
So 10 with a sensor sweep.
So you're 10 with the sensor sweep. You pick up. There is quite a bit of traffic coming in and out of Serendip Belt. Most of them seem to be in the 200 to 800 ton range. They're probably private traders that are making their way in and out of Serendip. Beyond that, with a 10, you don't pick anything else up, and it's going to take you probably 24 hours to get from your jump point to the large gas giant. I mean, it's not that far, but actually.
And are there any ships between where we are and the gas giant that we're trying to go to?
There's There are ships all over the place.
Oh,
Most of them are coming and going from the belt to the jump point.
right.
Anything looks suspicious? Well, actually, I don't know. I'm in a turret, looking around.
You don't see anything terribly suspicious. And
The turrets aren't popped up.
that's
They're
true. Yeah,
pop-up turrets.
they're pop-up turrets. I don't know that they
Oh, yeah.
pop them up.
Yeah, we look like an unarmed duck right now.
Yeah, that would be. This is not what I told it to do. Why is it being
Should
a pain
we-
in my ass?
Should we turn our transponder off and make people find us?
Unless your ship is designed automatically to turn off your transponder, that's not possible to do.
It's a bad idea if there's military around because you'll end up
Yeah.
just attracting attention.
Isn't there a naval base here?
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, but
it's
there is a naval base, but it isn't
Yes.
your naval base.
correct. And so hiding
Yeah,
your
I don't want to attract any naval base.
so hiding a transponder when there's other navy here, it's a bad idea.
All right, fair enough, man.
It makes us look real suspicious.
Okay, hold on here.
But I mean, based on the information that you got out of those guys, we know that they're not working with the government here. So I'm less afraid of the local government than I am afraid of mercenaries or other ships.
Well, you've been the paranoid one of the group, so
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. I mean,
gotta
but
tell you.
I'm saying we know who those guys were working for. They were working for another systems government.
Yeah.
And so, it would be a mercenary ship or some other independent ship that might attack us, but the local, they may have fooled the local guys to believe that we might be dangerous, but I'm not worried about them blowing us up.
Right.
So actually, I was wrong. It's going to take you a lot longer. Now hold on. I need to find my map again.
That's not really nice.
I just assumed we could jump to somewhere near the gas giant to refuel.
That's what I was just looking at.
I mean, gas giants have a pretty big gravity well, so it's going to take a while to get in and out.
And you should have exactly one jump. Jump one left in you. So that would work.
To work to do what now?
So you would there's a 16 AU difference between the belt and the closest large gas giant, which would put you at over 7.3 days. Probably at manual. If you were just to fly there manually, it's going to take you like 14.6 days.
Why would we do that though? If we
Right.
jumped near the gas giant, we refuel, we leave.
Well, you wouldn't jump near the gas giant. When you came out of jump, you would be put within 100 diameters of Serendip Belt. You don't really target anything other than the main world when you jump.
But can't you choose to target something else? If we've got the astrogation, I mean, we could.
I don't know that the
targeting
I don't think astrogation charts go that deep. Astrogation charts are going to be, this is the main world, that's where you jump. You can, like I said, you have one more jump one in you. You could jump from where you're at, and a week later you would be at the large gas giant.
It's a lot safer than just toting across.
Well, it
but
might
if
be.
that's the case, we could probably get fuel where we are then, if this is the main place where everybody jumps in.
Right. I mean, it's got a Class A starport. I mean,
let's
That's
dock.
nice refined fuel. I mean,
let's dock and just refuel then.
Okay.
I just assumed we could jump near the gas giant.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Let's just spend the money and get the fuck out.
Okay. So we'll just take Gabe's 11 for a docking maneuver, and you guys dock into one of this Class A starport that's built into an asteroid. And you are basically ordered. They're telling you that as soon as you dock, you need to immediately go to customs. And the guy that's on the comms is kind of a jerk about it. I mean, he's very straightforward. He's like, as soon as you dock, do not pass. Go straight to customs.
Yeah. What if we just want to get some fuel and go? If we don't really want to visit or restock or anything, we just like
not an option. He says if you're not going to go to customs, then your ship will be boarded.
We can go to customs.
Oh yeah, we don't have anything to hide. We've got a contest going to see who can stay the longest in jump space, and we're just wanting to get right back at it.
So you guys make it to customs, and you all immediately notice that all of
we have lumber to sell.
I don't know that. I mean, I don't know that there's a whole big market for lumber in a
I would
zero
think
atmosphere environment.
Oh, we sold the wood. We got cars or something, didn't we?
No, cars. We sold cars on the planet. We thought we bought lumber to bring here because we knew that it was a asteroid belt and they wouldn't have lumber.
I mean, they might. Yeah, I guess they might for like furniture and stuff, high class furniture and things of that nature. Most everything everything that you're going to see is going to be made out of wood and silicone and silicon seals for airlocks and deck plating and metal. Not a whole lot of lumber, but things of luxury items, tables, chairs. Yeah, you could probably sell your lumber here. So you get to customs. You notice two things. The first thing is that everybody who works for the government is all wearing a form of uniform, and it is a drab, plain, gray, collarless suit. And they all wear it. Even the customs office. The second thing that you notice is that there is no civilian militia. There's no police. Everything is run through the Serendip Belt military. Or specifically their navy. Serendip Belt doesn't really have an army. Everybody's a Marine. So they're either a sailor or they're a Marine. But yeah. So their police force is military police, and you're kind of seeing that Serendip Belt is kind of totalitarian in its field.
They'll just take our money and go.
And wood.
And wood, yeah, but I mean, I don't even give a fuck if we sell the wood if we could just go. I'm like you were on the last system, Let's just go.
So you get up to the customs desk, and there is a line, and it seems like you weren't really singled out so much. There are other traders that are there, and this seems to be kind of a normal.
Just their SOP.
Yeah, this is standard procedure, and there's a lot of these other spacers that are just kind of grumbling. And the one ahead of you, as he's done dealing with customs, he turns around as he's walking away and mumbles under his breath, like, "That's why I never come to Serendip Belt. I'll never do it again." And so you step up, and this guy he's shuffling papers like it's important that they're in the right order, and then he looks up at you and he has this look on his face like you are completely unimportant, and he says,
"Awesome.
So, do you have anything to declare?"
18 tons of lumber for sale, and then we would like to leave.
We're going to purchase some fuel.
Yeah, purchase some fuel, and then we'd like to leave.
He says, fuel's going to run you 600 credits per. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, 6,000 credits per ton.
6,000 credits per ton. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, you got to figure they're in a belt. It's not like they have access to water other than the asteroids that they bring in,
Or the giant gas giant.
or the gas giant, which is a jump away. So,
Well, we just need three jumps worth, right?
Well, that's
We need 4.
no, we
That's
need
true.
we need 160 tons. So that would be quite a bit of money. Normally fuel's 500 credits per ton.
right.
Refined. So that is 12 times that. So
He says this lumber. Do you need it to be offloaded?
assuming we can find a buyer, yeah.
He rubber stamps the paperwork, and he hands it to you, and attached to the top of the
Yeah.
paper is a handwritten index card, and he hands Sarah the paperwork, and he says, "Down the hall and to the right is our trading kiosk. You can go there. It's all automated. You can find a buyer for your lumber there."
Perfect. Yeah, we're looking at almost 1 million credits for fuel is what he's charging.
Yeah.
So we will be jumping to the gas giant, I guess.
He says if the cost of fuel is too much, there is a solution. You could apply for citizenship with Serendip Belt.
What is the average time such an application takes to be processed?
Oh, well, our bureaucracy works a little bit faster than most. It's usually about a month.
Yeah, it takes a week to jump to your gas giant and get fuel for free. So I think that's what we'll do, rather than pay 1 million credits for fuel.
Do we even have 1 million credits?
No, we do not have 960,000 credits.
So, as you're heading down the hall, you see that on the top of this, there's this handwritten index card, and it says that this guy had written down on it. It says, "New Bayern agents are looking for your ship. Don't stay in system too long."
Oh wow! All right.
Yeah, we have no plans of staying here very long.
All right. Yeah, that lets. Well, yeah, we're gonna jump here real quick. All right. So, yeah, that's
I'm
not
gonna go
great.
ahead and return to the ship.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna see if I can't find an automated buyer for the lumber.
Okay, go ahead and make your trade rolls, and let's see what you get.
Is there another ship parked next to ours?
There are several ships here. Most of them are 210 free traders. There is actually one other Type R fat trader that is docked.
Oh, are they fueling up?
They're all I mean, that's all they're doing is refueling and conducting trade.
They might be citizens.
Yeah,
Of course, we could possibly buy fuel from a citizen at a much better rate.
So some of the information that you know about Serendip Belt is, I mean, aside from the Serendip Belt itself being rather totalitarian, they are rather aggressive in a military sense. They have a colony which is Glory. They attempted to take over Herzen's Lust, and they've attempted to take over a couple of other worlds. Most of the time they are resisted, but Serendip Belt, basically all of the other systems in the island subsectors, they don't trust them.
So, on the little dock area around our ship, is there anybody that looks like really wealthy, important, has a lot of shiny shit on their uniform?
No. Everybody that you're seeing is either, if they're a part of Serendip Belt, they're wearing this drab, light gray collarless suit as a uniform, or they're dock workers, or they're traders. You're not seeing anybody that looks well-to-do. They're pretty much all dressed just like the traders are pretty much dressed just like you are.
Okay. I want to approach the fat trader, I guess, and just kind of
Cool.
ring the bell.
So you made 16,200 credits off the lumber.
Not
Yeah.
bad.
Well, no, that's what we sold it for. But I mean, I purchased it at 55% of cost, and I sold it at 90% of cost. So we turned a profit.
Yeah. On here, let me update your ledger.
Yeah, I should see if this guy wants to resell 160 tons of fuel.
I'm actually going to try to go talk to him on the guise of offering medical, my medical expertise. But in reality, I'm going to go ahead and take a swing at this, I think it's suggestion, and see if I could just suggest this dude buy us a bunch of fuel.
Which dude?
Yeah. The dude at the fat trader. I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
paint.
fat trader guy.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I'm headed to the other fat trader there. I'm like, well, if they, and I'll just kind of go up and ring the door chimer button.
Press the doorbell on his airlock.
Yeah, something. I mean,
Exactly.
They gotta have something.
So, yeah, you can do that. There's no answer.
Oh. Okay. I'll give it a few moments and hit him again.
There's
Be like,
no answer.
no answer. Well, okay. Then just on to the next ship that looks like it has a guy that has a lot of money to buy fuel.
If we're being hunted in the system, may not be a great idea to go door to door. But
Right.
I mean, let's see if anybody's at this next ship. I'm just right here on the dock, and kind
And
of,
I'm going back to the ship and started sharpening my blade.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Reloading
I'll try
guns.
one more time to see if I can, hit a guy to buy us some fuel.
So that puts you're at 97,218 credits.
that's a tenth of what would cost to buy fuel.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna head back to the ship.
Okay.
We can head out. If
All right. And
want to hold a bunch of shit up on a hard roll.
so you get back to the ship, and Gabe, go ahead and make another piloting plus dex check. You are cleared for takeoff. Your lumber checked out. The whole thing takes you probably about close to 6 hours because they got to offload the lumber, then they've got to, of course, inspect it and
For boll weevils.
Yeah, for boll weevils and all sorts of other bureaucratic paperwork things. Got to make sure that the lumber's all had its vaccinations, and then they can move it on through customs. And so Gabe, after about 7 hours, Gabe takes off. You are cleared for launch, and you spend, because it's a belt, it's an inordinate amount, a short amount of time to get to the jump limit, and you can go ahead and who wants to make the astrogation check to the large gas giant?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, no problem. And whoever wants to make the jump can make it with a +2 bonus. Okay. So you're in jump for another week.
Gonna check out the.
And I'm still trying to beat the dents out of my gecko.
You're still he's got a bucket of Bondo all mixed up. He's in the cargo bay smoothing out the dents.
I'm gonna kill that driver. Oh, that's right. He escaped.
This is the only thing I shipped out with. So at the end of the week, you come out at the large gas giant, and Jack can make one more. I'll only make you roll for it once. Well, I might make you roll for it twice if you roll poorly. Go ahead and make a. It's difficult 10 plus piloting plus dex check. Nice.
Oh wow! Whoa!
So Jack makes this look easy. Gabe actually looks like he knows what he's doing. So he
Nice.
brings the ship down, and it takes you multiple passes. I mean, how much fuel are you skimming? Are you filling it? Are you filling it the tank full? I mean,
Yes.
okay. So that's gonna.
We're about to make a really long jump, right?
Well, it's not really that long.
It seems like it's pretty far.
It's not that far.
Serendip, it's a four jump.
Yeah, it's 4. You can jump 5 if you got a full tank. Yeah, you might want all 5 just to
You don't want to show up empty.
in case there is a a mishap.
In case we miss.
Right. So yeah, that is going to take you. Where's my high guard? That's my high guard. Let's see here. What is 189? So Type R can process 20 tons per day.
Yep.
So you're gonna be here a while.
We just got to process enough to get us into jump space one trip. We can process the rest of this shit.
That's true. That is
Yeah.
true. You can process while you're in jump. So yeah, I mean 2 days to process enough fuel for one jump, and then the rest of it can be processed over the week that you're in jump. That's a good point. Yeah, I think we came to that realization before. We're like, well, you don't have to process all of it all at once. So yeah, Jack spends a day, 2 days, over the course of 2 days, skimming fuel, and is able to get your tanks, get your tanks full and your processor chugging away. And you are, after 2 days, you're ready for your first jump.
Let's get the hell out of here. Let's get the hell out of here.
So, Jack, you want to make a astrogation check?
He's a busy dude.
Perfect.
Nice.
And whoever wants to make the J drive plus intellect plus 2. All right. And you are in jump, or at least the first leg of your jump.
Now, my bioreaction chamber, it does a accelerated growth rate.
Right.
Yeah. So
your bioreaction chamber, here's the problem. So yes, it does an accelerated growth rate, but the first thing that this is assuming that it knows what it's working with.
okay.
So, and in this case, it really doesn't, because it's not like the creatures that this came from are really that
Right.
common. So it's having to go through and scan it and scan it and scan it, and it is in the process of growing, but it probably won't be done until you actually get to Zephlect.
Okay. And I have one more question on this, and then I'll leave it alone until we get to Zephlin or whatever. How hard do I think it would be to augment this thing so I could install it on one of my crewmates?
Augment what thing?
The venom sack. Like if I wanted to give, say, Sarda a vicious bite,
No, thank you.
I hear you.
I bit my tongue. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah. Well,
Oops, I missed.
is
Got my
that something
tongue.
that's possible?
Theoretically, maybe. But you're talking about some high tech level gene engineering kind of shit that you're talking something that's going to require like tech level 17 labs in order for you to even come up with that kind of thing.
Okay, that's all I need.
I mean, I suppose if you wanted to come up with some kind of augment that was basically cybernetic, but would have to be occasionally refilled,
right.
you could make something like that.
Okay.
But you know,
We could just use a dart gun.
Well,
right?
We
yeah.
got Jack, and Jack is down for anything. I'm telling you, and he would like a venomous bite.
Jack is the best of two worlds for a doctor. He's fearless and he's a hypochondriac.
just give him a poisonous dart toad to go with it that he needs to lick every so often to refuel.
Yeah, great.
So, you make a series of jumps, and you get to Zuflucht. And the first thing, as soon as you come out of jump, you can see that there is a bunch of ships in the area. Your passive scan, before you even make an active scan, your passive scan lights up with a ton of ships. And when I say a ton of ships, I mean tons and tons of ships. There are ships here 100,000, 200,000 ton range. These are big Navy destroyers. And who wants to make... I mean, if you want to make an active sensor scan, you can. But you're almost immediately, within minutes of coming out of jump, your comms light up and it says, "Welcome home, perfect stranger. Please proceed to docking bay as per traffic control instructions. Liaison staff will greet you."
Thank you very much.
Very nice of you say that.
And then you get you see in... I mean, when I say you see a speck in the distance, and you receive a radio comm from that ship. It says, "Islands Patrol greets you, Imperial vessel." And you can tell that this is a big... This is like a battle cruiser class ship. This is huge.
So do I think that's where I'm docking?
No.
Okay.
No, there is a garden world here. Zuflucht has its own world, and you are ordered to... They have a high port that you can dock at, which is where they're talking about. That's where traffic control is coming from.
Perfect.
And
so this is another ship then greeting us.
Yes.
While we're going into land. All right.
And all of these vessels are flying Imperial colors.
All right. Well, I'll hail it too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what's up, Buttercup?
Yeah.
The ship that calmed you. The ship that calmed you is a 1,000-ton Chrysanthemum class destroyer escort.
Okay.
So yeah, there is a heavy Imperial Navy presence here. Jack, go ahead and make another piloting plus dex check to see how badly.
And this is our escort, I guess. It's going to escort us to the...
Yeah, more or less. These guys just follow you along at a distance and kind of escort you into port. And Jack makes it look easy and docks you guys right inside a berth at the high port. And you guys are, as soon as you crack open the door, you are met by a cadre of Navy personnel, all wearing the Navy, the maroon Navy uniform of the Imperium. And the sub-lieutenant that greets you, he has a chest full of campaign ribbons, and he says, "Oh, I trust that you were successful in your mission for Imperial intelligence."
Sure.
We have successfully retrieved the ship and some information that went with it.
Okay. He says, "Well, all of the Navy officers that greet you, as soon as you say that, they all stand at attention and salute you.
All right.
We salute
I'll
back.
salute back. I guess it's reflex. I'm ex-Navy.
And the sub lieutenant says, "Well, bring the data cores with you, and we'll get you started to the debriefing." And they basically separate all of you and debrief you. And of course, I assume that none of you are lying about anything, or you're not making up stories.
It was Newbeard, right? That was the group that was actively pursuing us.
Yeah.
Correct.
The ones that we rolled. Okay, I just want to make sure I have that straight in terms of.
Yeah, and it was Gabriel with the shotgun in the market.
Yeah. It wasn't George. George didn't do anything.
Absolutely not.
So they, over the next couple of days, they debrief all of you. All of you are put up in officers' quarters and given free access to the officers' club and officers' mess. Basically, have whatever you want, eat whatever you want, drink whatever you want. You're here for maybe a total of a week, just living high on the hog.
Yeah.
And finally, at the end of the week, a Imperial Intelligence officer comes in. You can tell that he's Imperial Intelligence because he's not wearing a uniform. This guy just walks in wearing a suit and a tie. And he comes into where you guys are all sitting in the officers' club, and sits down at your table, and he says, "Well, we went over the data cores that you retrieved. They were not the complete data cores, but they are enough that they fill in plenty of information that we've been looking for." And he says,
I was scanning every system that we went to. Admittedly, we did not hit as many systems as they did.
Right, yeah,
that data is also available to you.
Yeah, and he says, and that of course fills in quite a bit. We were unaware that New Bayern had caused so much trouble, but it appears that in your adventures, getting these data cores, that the real one to watch out for in the old island subsector, at least, is New Bayern.
We've got a prisoner to turn in, right?
Yes.
One of those guys survived, so he.
Yeah. I mean,
at least one did.
Yeah, I mean that's something too.
Yeah, I'll tell him that I de-augmented him as best I could.
You essentially had to flay him to remove the.
Right.
No, he still got the armor. He said I couldn't take the armor off.
Okay.
But I could, the wafer jacks and things like that. Oh yeah, we take them, and we'll maybe not totally sever like the Achilles tendons and stuff, but make them a little bit thinner so they'll fuck around and start fighting.
He says, if each of you will check if you use your mobile comms or whatever communications device you're using. If you check your credit accounts, you'll see that your accounts have been credited, and each of you receives 250,000 credits.
Sweet.
What?
Sweet.
And he then says, so my question then is to you, as a crew, you seem to operate well together. And he looks at Randolph and he goes, "We paid you, but I don't think we know who you are." He looks at the rest of you and he says, "So did you pick up a new crew member?"
We needed an engineer, and he's been fantastic.
Well, your word's good enough for me. I don't.
You could check me in the reserve naval personnel files.
That's true. And of course, he's probably already done that, but he wanted to make sure that you guys kind of knew what was going on. He trusts your word on it. He says, so my question is that you all seem to work pretty well as a team and as a crew. What is your plans from here? And he says, of course, you'll be set up on a ship back into civilized space. But what is your plan? What's your next goal?
Well, I'm thinking about experimenting with this weird venom sac that I picked up along the way. I think it'd be fun to see if I'll be honest about how I dosed their other agents and stuff. So I want to make more of that.
He says
It takes people about a week to get their memories back, and it just incapacitates someone quickly.
He says you definitely have some interesting hobbies.
I think you'd have to go to. What was the system that we were Neon? You'd have to go back to Neon and milk some of those insects for that venom.
No, I've made a venom sac. That's what I've been working on.
Right. But I'm saying the venom came from Neon. That's where that stuff came.
Yeah.
I mean,
Neon creature venom.
You're looking when you looked inside your bioreaction chamber. You're like, well, I guess that's what this venom sac looks like, because you've never actually seen one. Neither has the bioreaction chamber, and so it basically had to scan the DNA over and over and over again, and then using minimal AI, came up with the closest facsimile of what it thought the venom sac would look like.
So I'm interested to see how this works out as soon as I get an opportunity. I'll have to milk the venom and stuff, of course. It's very exciting. Very exciting.
He says, so, I mean, obviously you need, you need jobs. I mean, you're sitting pretty with your money that you've made, but I know that you types will probably go through that cash pretty quickly. He says, so I would like to offer you employment.
Sure.
Well,
Doing what?
So
Don't say before we don't know what job we got.
I have been acting as the ship's counselor rather
successfully. He can offer me employment. I'm looking forward to the offer. That's what I'm saying sure to.
So he says, I can't offer you anything that's going to be nearly as exciting as the mission that you just completed. It's certainly not going to be that. In fact, it'll be rather mundane, but we are always looking for decent crews. We are looking for crews that will basically work with a combination of the Imperial Navy and the Interstellar Scout Service, running rift haulers back and forth across the Great Rift, and delivering much needed supplies to naval bases, and transferring of personnel, things of that matter. And like I said, it would be a 1-year contract, and it's going to be fairly mundane and boring.
We're not doing any of that J1 bullshit anymore.
Oh no!
If you want us to fucking around, we want to fucking some J's,
Yeah.
on that J drive.
A rift hauler.
J1 my ass.
Yeah, no. A rift hauler transport has J3.
Okay, well that's a little more acceptable. I mean,
But I mean, if you're going back and forth, that's still 2 jumps from Zaflucht to Chandler Station, and.
Oh yeah, you won't be in the island subsector.
Yeah, do we get to keep all our toys that we bought for the old ship?
Yeah, you get to keep everything that you purchase is yours.
I want my dex augmentation if there's a hospital here.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to find something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
yeah. So he says, you would be paid as normal crew for this year, but it will definitely open up new opportunities for you.
I'd like to see about getting my gecko repaired.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have a problem with that. In fact, if you want, they'll just swap it out with another one.
That would be great, because it was supplied to me by the Navy anyway.
Right. Yeah. Less mileage. No dings and dents. They can make that happen.
Can they put a gun on it?
If you're doing hauler, if you're running haulers back and forth, they probably aren't going to have cargo space for it, frankly.
No, but it could be stored somewhere.
Sure.
Ready for you. Yeah. He says we'll supply you unarmed with it now, but there's a possibility that it could be retrofitted and rearmed in the future.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Like a little pocket nuke or something.
No, not pocket nuke.
I'm
I
like,
want a grenade. I want a mortar round nuke.
oh, hell yeah. Because you don't want to be up on it. Or, some nuclear bullets. Oh,
Do they have that in Traveler? I know they had that in Alternity.
Yeah, they have it.
It's actually nuclear. They're irradiated rounds.
Yeah.
Absolutely ruthless. So if you guys are okay with that, so the next thing that before we go forward, you each get 1 XP point.
All right.
1 XP point.
Yeah, that's.
I get my rake and steward. I'm immediately spinning that to raise steward to 0.
You want passengers?
No, I just wanted I want the skill.
Well, that might become part of our. We might get a mission to do that.
Well, actually, I did raise it already to 0, so I guess I'll do investigation to 0.
I'll do gunner to turret 0.
I'm going to turn my telekinesis from 0 to 1.
I'm going to actually, considering where we've been, I'm going to turn my carouse from 0 to 1.
That's a good idea.
Because I just got a whole crap load of money that I spent.
I can drink for both of us, George.
I want my Mai Tai.
Yes. In fact, you get a Mai Tai machine.
Right. So we had 2 of those Dex mods, and we had 2 wafer jacks.
Yeah. So you can take whatever items that you have, and you can spend whatever money you want on cybernetics. You have to make the surgery rolls, or rather augmentations.
I'm happy to perform these.
Yeah, there's a full hospital available.
Yeah, anyone that wants it, I'm probably better than whatever doctor they have around here.
I'd like to get the Dex since I'm only a 5 now.
All right, that'll be +2 to your thing. What do you want me to roll?
Hold on here.
Medic and cybernetics.
You don't need to make. You just need to make the medic check. Here we go. Augment. So you need to make a medic plus intellect and education. You get to add a +4 to it because of the hospital suite.
14.
Okay.
What will the costs be if we use the augment that he's ripped out of these guys versus buying them? Because that augmentation costs 1 million credits normally.
If you have the augmentation and he's just installing that, the Navy's not going to charge you anything. However, if you want to purchase an augmentation, or if you have the money for it, you can buy whatever you want up to tech level 14. It'll cost normal amount.
Okay, well, you might want to buy slow drug for 500 credits to make your recovery go quicker.
Well, the hospital will supply all the drugs. That's not a problem.
Okay, wow, that's great. Yeah, so I would definitely, if you've got another Dex 2, I will happily take that.
Wasn't it a Dex 3?
I don't know what it was that was removed from those guys.
I thought it was Dex 2. I thought
I
we got
think
2
they're just
Dex
Dex
2s.
You wrote it down somewhere. I know you had a.
It was in the messenger or Facebook Messenger chat.
It's way up there in the messenger chat.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I figured Wes would write all of that down, which is why I'd pass that to him. I think there are multiple Dex 2s.
That's what remember it is. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I don't think you told it to me directly. I think it was just in the
it was just in the chat. Here, hold on, let me.
3 skill wafers, science forensics 2, investigate 2, and electronics computer 2.
They were Dex Og times +2.
Yep. I'm scrolling up a little bit.
And wafer jacks.
Yeah, there were wafer jacks.
And enhanced vision, binoculars, infrared light.
Yeah, there were 2 sets of cybernetic eyes with enhanced vision, binocular, IR, light intensification.
Is the wafer jack good to get?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it certainly doesn't hurt.
yeah. I mean,
Okay, here we go. I
That's a
found it.
pretty good one with.
I have 3 dex augmentation +2s. I have that's not on there. I have 3 wafer jacks, capacity bandwidth 4, 3 enhanced vision, binoculars, infrared, light intensification sets.
correct.
I have that. So so far we've had Sarda, you were getting a dex thing. Is that what you said you wanted?
Yeah. I technically want the. I'm interested in the wafer jack as well, but I'd be nervous to get anything in my head. Mainly, I just would confidentially talk to Bocephus and just say, look, I don't want it to mess up my psionics.
Man, I have a 2 in the science of the psion. I mean, I'm really versed in
yeah,
there.
that's
I
what I'm
won't
saying.
fuck your head up,
Yeah, that's as long as he convinces me it won't mess up the psionics, I'm through with it. Now, Bocephus is pretty willing to put anything in anyone, so I don't know that I necessarily ask. But at least he would understand why.
Yeah, you got to be careful because they'll put a venom sac up there.
That's right.
No,
Jeez.
it's not ready yet. But yeah,
You
man.
installed this wafer jack, and now whenever I go to the bathroom, I put a web somewhere. I don't. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, if we get a good science lab, people might start doing things like crawling on walls and stuff. But yeah, okay. You wanted a wafer jack too? You want the infrared eyes? Ooh, that's a 7.
But you get a +4 for the.
Yeah, another +4. So yeah, I got a 14 on his dex thing, and I got a 11 on his wafer jack for Sarda.
So you're good.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I want the dex and a wafer jack.
This is the 3rd. Okay, so that's 10 for the dex.
That's good.
And
ooh, that's really good.
yeah, the wafer jack goes in really follows you heal nicely and fast because I got a 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that. So I think I got one more wafer jack. Is that what?
Yep.
Yeah, there were 3 of them.
Yeah. Does someone else want one? Anybody? Free wafer jack.
I've got wafer jacks in there. I could just.
Yeah, you've already got one.
Myself, whatever I want, right?
Yeah. Gabriel would be the only other jack.
Sure.
All right.
We're turning down a free surgery.
Right, and so I gave a dex to Glenn. I gave a dex to Sarda. Do you want a dex too, Jack?
Yeah, load me up.
And so that's a 16.
Those decks 2 are 1,000,000 credits to purchase.
Yeah. So that's 2 of those. You want a new set of eyes, George?
Binocular, IR, and light intensification.
I'm kind of tempted with that if nobody else. But I don't. I've already taken 2 of these augmentations, so.
That's a 20 to install that.
You can mess with my brain, but not my eyes.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, you can have the eyes if you wanted. I made the roll.
Sweet. Awesome.
I mean, all I'm going to try to do now is if no one wants anything else, I'm going to try to sell off the rest of the eyes.
Yeah, you could.
You got more eyes you want?
I'm gonna
He has 2 more sets of eyes.
I'm gonna keep the investigate 2. Okay.
Okay.
Just because I only have a 1, so that actually boosts me up 1 for investigation.
Yep.
And don't forget, there's that science forensics too.
Yes.
I might just throw that in my back pocket.
Yeah.
Which wafer jack is it? The 4?
Yes. It's
Yeah, it's the
bandwidth
most
capacity
basic
4.
one. It's the basic one. Most basic.
But it was
And then
free.
And then the eyes?
So with capacity bandwidth 4, you could run 2 wafers, 2 intellect or education-based skill wafers that are +2 each. Or you could run 1 up to +4.
Oh, okay.
But you can change them in and out pretty easily. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just
Yeah. And then what are the eyes?
The eyes are tech level 13, enhanced vision, binoculars, IR, and light intensification. And I can probably tell you more about that. Let me see if it goes into... It does not. It just says, hey, they're eyes. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I can look it up. Okay.
It might
Do you
be...
want money for that?
who, me? No.
Okay.
I took these out of some people we found along the way. And
All right.
The secondhand augmentation. That's the best kind, isn't it?
yeah, so
It's not Imperium made. It's
Yeah, this is from the islands, so...
yeah, so
Yeah,
it's rare.
washed and reused.
Yeah. I
So-
thoroughly cleaned this stuff great
Man.
in my
comes with a
stable.
database of porn from his world.
Make side effects include insomnia, narcolepsy. Your hair might change color.
minor stuff.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
We got-
I'm gonna buy an assortment of drugs while I'm here.
So
like
these-
slow drugs
so
and stuff like that.
This says traveler can be implanted with cybernetic eyes, giving them the permanent functionality of binoculars and IR light intensification goggles, which are on pages 73 through 75 of the Central Supply Catalog Update 2023. Says if they were a TL14, the traveler can also see into and beyond the ultraviolet spectrum and emulate the effects of PRIS binoculars. So these are only TL13, they're basics. These are pretty much, for the island subsector, these are, well, I mean, anywhere. Tech level 13 is pretty high.
I want to buy an infantry mortar.
I'm sorry, which one?
An infantry mortar.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they start talking about sending us out on this mission, how much cargo space are we going to be allowed to use for our own?
That is a very good question. And that, I believe, is in Highguard.
Probably can't bring your dirigible.
Or the car we wrecked.
I gave
That
one
was
of my
Glenn's
players
car, wasn't it?
gave one of my players in Pirates Dranax a dirigible.
Actually, they replaced the car that got wrecked. I got a new one.
He took his flight skill in inflatables. Yeah, so I gave him a dirigible. They technically could bring it with them, but it does take up like 19 tons of cargo space, and so they've so far chosen to leave it at Dranax.
So you're each allowed to bring personal stuff up to 200 kilograms each.
That's not very much.
No.
It's not. All right.
That's
So
Nah. No, I'll say more than that. You're each allowed to bring up to 1,000 kilograms because you're going to be in deep space. You're going to be, out in the middle, literally the literal middle of nowhere, at that junction of no and where.
yeah, and we're going to be going on a bunch of different rules and everything. So,
But aside from what you bring with you, of course, everything else will be provided for you: food, water. They're not going to make you sleep outside, so, housing.
yeah, okay. What do you think about me purchasing a water cannon here that we could mount on air rafts and other type stuff?
A water cannon.
Yeah, it's non-lethal, but when I hit somebody with it, or anybody hits someone with it, they got to make a difficult 10 strength check or be knocked prone and rendered helpless for a round. So
where are you getting that?
from the CSC update, page 173, weaponry.
I gotta check this out.
Under rockets, missiles, and bombs. This is a mountable gun for like a vehicle.
Right. I mean, I don't see why not. If you wanted to mount that on the Gecko, you could.
Do you guys have any combat armor?
I've got cloth armor.
Speaking of which,
Yeah,
Chris,
combat armor's always so big and bulky too, right? So
Well, yeah, because it can operate as an environment suit.
Most places you go to don't let you wear heavy armor, so
Right. You're probably not going to be able to purchase combat armor, but you can purchase up to cloth or mesh. What were you saying,
can I buy that TL10 super indistinguishable cloth?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And then, do laser pistols take a backpack?
They do. There is a cord that runs from them either to a pistol would go to either a belt pack or to something you would wear on your wrist.
Do we have any of those laser revolvers left?
Yeah, I don't think you guys have done anything with them.
No,
Could I have
those,
one of those?
Fuck yeah, they're in the. They're
Let me.
for whoever.
help yourself.
Yeah, I was
Here
just
are the stats
trying
for
to
the
get-
laser revolver.
use bathroom beer.
yeah, I've got the pen, the laser pen, in my pocket.
Well, I'm just thinking, I've got energy weapons. That a skill I don't really have slugs as good. So it'd be nice to be able to carry something concealed around.
Yeah.
You want the pen?
No, the pistol.
Oh, the little pistol thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the laser revolver was kind of a nifty thing that they added to this.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's only got 6 shots, but
Well, I was just thinking I might be able to conceal it a lot more often and just kind of carry it around. Oh, there it is. Thanks.
the other nice thing about the laser revolver is that it's got the zero gravity trait. So, I mean, if you are in 0G and you fire it, you don't have to worry about it pushing you back.
What's that?
The laser revolver has 0G trait, so if you're in 0G and you fire it, you don't have to worry about getting knocked back or anything.
Yeah, it'd be nice if I had beam.
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to find reloads for it though?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, yeah, batteries aren't hard to purchase.
Okay. And I want to purchase the handy dandy super stunner that shoots 10 meters.
Let's see.
It's TL 12.
Yeah, you can do that.
All right.
So the Gecko, if Bocephus is putting the water cannon on the Gecko, the one downside is that the Gecko will be in storage.
It'll need a huge tank of water. That's a pretty big downside.
That's the downside to it. Yeah. So I mean, with the water cannon attached, I mean, you're dropping the crew capacity of the Gecko down to 2, the driver and 1 passenger, because of the.
Somebody's got to aim it.
The 200-gallon tank of water that you need to fire out.
Right.
I say we just skip armament for now. It's probably more important to fit everybody in the car if need be.
Possibly. Let's see. What is the You might actually be able to bring the gecko. Let me.
One of the cool things we noticed going through the new guide is shields. There's a shield that looks just like a bracelet.
Yeah,
and then
the
it
gravity
expands, the expandable shield. No, the
Oh.
expandable. It's much more reasonable. It's tech level 12. But it deploys from a bracer on the wearer's forearm using morphable materials, expands on voice or electronic command to become any size from a buckler to a boarding shield, providing protection +8 as cover. But it's lightweight enough not to be considered bulky in that role. So yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, the gravitic shield's great, but it's
high tech level.
Yeah, it's a real high tech level. It's tech level 17 versus the expandable shield's only tech level 12.
Can I have one of those?
The expanding shield, yeah.
Yeah.
Another 2,500 credits. So
Alright.
page.
So yeah, I mean, it's your gecko, and like I said, the water cannon, that's gonna take the tank for that is gonna take up 2 passenger positions. So you would have room for two people in the crew compartment and 1 person in the back to fire the water cannon. The rest of that space is going to be taken up with a water tank. So that's a downside to that. But the shipping weight for the gecko is only 4.5 tons. You can fit that onto the rift hauler if that's what you'd like.
I know we definitely want to take the gecko if he wants to take it, and I will suggest the water cannon to add on because it's a non-lethal type weapon. But anybody that comes fucking around with us, it'll lay them down.
But the downside of doing that is that you could only take 3 people in the gecko.
That's right.
I mean, you could get stunner rifles, right? They're also.
I want a machine gun.
But I mean, if you're looking about non-lethal, you could get stunner. Stunner rifles are probably pretty comparable damage.
That's
to a
true.
water cannon.
That's true. And they do. Stunner rifle will do more than just knock them down. It'll knock them out.
Yeah, that's what the butt of my shotgun is for.
Mhm.
That's my stunner rifle.
Right.
Yes, stun blaster beam, 4 dice of damage.
Where is that? Oh, I don't have beams, so it wouldn't do me much good.
Range 20.
Yeah, that'd light somebody up pretty good.
So I mean it's a lot. You can fit a lot more of them into the back of a gecko.
Could just put a big speaker up on top and just play the brown note. That's incapacitating.
Yeah.
So, you guys, you do your shopping, and you are out on a rift hauler. The rift hauler that you are on specifically is... I knew this just a second ago. And then I brain farted. So the rift hauler that you are on is designated as 4A4. They're not very imaginative. I mean, it's the Navy. They're not very imaginative with names for rift haulers, but this is a rift hauler. They're 1,000 tons. They got jump 3, thrust 2. They're kind of shaped like a brick.
Oh my goodness.
And basically, you're just plowing the space lanes. Well, there are no space lanes. You're making your own. And 4A4's mission is essentially that you are, like I said, you're resupplying naval bases and you're using refueling caches that are set up across the Great Rift. This goes on for almost a year. You're getting towards the end of your contract, the end of your tour, and the last part of your tour, you were designated to. This was going to be the last mission for you. You were going to go to the naval base at Gilkur for maintenance and to do a crew change out and you were going to resupply at the naval base, and you guys were basically going to sign off on your contract and be free agents once more. But your mission got basically short-stopped. There was a problem with another rift hauler. The other rift hauler is 6 weeks overdue. That rift hauler was 5A7, and they don't know exactly where that rift hauler went, and so they want 4A4 to make the journey, and the journey is going to be, where is Gikor? Is it on this map? Probably not. Anyways, the journey that you're going to go on is to refuel at all of these fuel caches and check each one and see if you see any sign of 5A7. And one of the points that you're going to stop at is point XF1402. Now, there are many of these astrogational points throughout Rift space. Usually, there's nothing there. It's just a navigational point that is put for astrogators, so that they have a point of origin in order to use the 3 other navigational points to make their next jump. In this case, point XF1402 is a little bit more than that. There is actually a brown dwarf there, and there is a planet there. A single solitary planet that is orbiting this brown dwarf designated DKB1. And the planetoid that is orbiting it is actually semi-habitable. It's orbiting close enough to this brown dwarf that it actually has a minor breathable atmosphere. It's very thin, but it is breathable. And this planet is called DKB1 Alpha, or just Alpha. And that is going to be one of your stops. In fact, that is your next stop when you come out of jump space. Now, you do know a little bit about Alpha. And some of the stuff that you've heard about Alpha is a little bit mysterious, a little bit scary. I mean, most of the information that you have is just rumors. But one of the rumors is that the base that is currently on Alpha is actually the second base that has ever been put there. The first base, they showed up, it was just a small research outpost. That basically they were going to be researching, thin atmosphere life forms. Alpha does have some minor plant and animal life in the form of that there's like some moss and lichen that grows on the planet. Nothing really much more than that. And there are some insects that then feed on the moss and lichen. That's about the limit of the zoological experiment that is on that planet. But the researchers were studying these creatures and the plants, and they were also studying, this was an opportunity to get up close and personal and study a brown dwarf, one of the most boring solar objects in the universe. Oh look, it's a mud ball that is hot. Well, kind of hot. And so there was this small research outpost, but the rumors that you heard was that they found something there. And the first bit of information that you've heard is that when they showed up, they found an area where the landscape had been scored unnaturally, like almost like by a fusion torch, but something that was much more advanced. And this went on for 2 kilometers. The other thing that they found were some kinds of buildings. Now the buildings that are on there now, they actually use a flechette pistol. I believe it is actually silent. I think that's basically a needler.
That's just a copy out of the thing. I just wondered if I could buy one.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
It'll make a little
noise. Yeah.
But that's nothing compared to pistol going off.
Yeah, it'll sound like grandma coughing, but other than that, it's fine. So the building material that the base is currently made out of, they basically crush up the rock and they dump it into a processor, and this processor spits out slabs of a mix of concrete that's mostly air. But they then take it, they put it into hollow metal tubes, and that's how they construct their buildings. And then the tubes are used to run water and power and networking cables and all of that matter. They're not really all that sturdy. Like, an impact is going to crumble a wall pretty easily, but they do hold very well as far as insulation, so heating and whatnot. So they found some buildings that were made of a material similar to that, but much more advanced. The buildings that they found is that whoever built these was able to take that same kind of concrete mix, but they were able to shape it and mold it like it were metal. Then the last thing that you heard, and this, you're not sure that if this is true or not, but you heard that one of the researchers found some carvings on a rock a little ways away from where all this flattened area and buildings were found, and that after viewing these, she went crazy, like completely batshit. And they tried to hold her for observation. She never recovered. She just kept babbling on, and they finally decided that enough's enough, and they packed up what small crew they had when the next rift hauler showed up, and they went back to Imperial Space, where she was committed to a psychological institute, and they basically wrote down stuff that she said. And she just kept going on, and the one thing that she kept saying was that it's in the place beyond everything that lies extinction of all life.
That sounds great.
And so that's the rumor that you've heard about Alpha at point XF 1402. And this was many years ago. And there's been a base here for quite some time. You haven't heard of any problems, but that's the ghost story that goes around spaceport bars that you've heard about Alpha. And so at the end of this week, you come out of jump at point XF02.
Assuming there's like fuel dumps that we're jumping between, is that because we can't jump there must be fuel dumps in like some of these spaces in between.
Yes. There's
okay.
Fuel caches all throughout there.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so you get an automated acknowledgement from Alpha that basically recognizes that your ship exists and gives you landing clearance. And it's just a computerized voice. There's no person actually on the other end. And so Gabe, Jack can make a piloting plus dex check to land. Jesus. All right.
Wow.
Is that with your new dex mod?
No, that's the old one.
Nice.
I have a 14 dex now, and so I haven't. Oh, it's still a +2. Okay.
Is 14? It is still +3.
Yeah, 15 is the line.
Yeah, 15 is +3. So this is the research station that is here. It's called Candling Station. A long Navy tradition of naming it after the first commanding officer that ever was stationed here. And so this is Candling Station. And so over on this side, just off the map, is where your landing field is. And you can see that, see from this map, basically this is standard, the very basics of a landing field, where they went through with a fusion torch and leveled it flat. And the first thing that Jack notices as you set down, you notice a couple of things. The first thing that Jack notices is that there's another rift hauler on the pad, and it is pinging back that it is Rift Hauler 5A7. So you found it.
Found it.
Yeah.
The other thing that Jack notices is that, so there are these things called divots, and these are, on a landing field. These are created when a pilot comes in and he's either his nose is too far down, tail's too far down, or too far left or right, and the skids hit hard and leave a divot. And then usually all the other pilots give him shit about it, and then they have a beer and get over it, because then the next pilot that just bought you that beer and was making fun of you, he's then going to go ahead and do it. And then, but what you're noticing is there's very few divots. So either there's a lot of pilots that are really, really good, or this place doesn't get very many pilots at all. And probably the latter, given where it is. So you notice that Rift Hauler 5A7 is here. You see that there are lights on the landing field. There are landing beacons. Some of the beacons, there are clusters of these landing light beacons, and they actually give off positional data for your piloting computers. Not really that needed, but it comes standard, so it's there anyways. And then over in the distance, you see that there is this small semi-frozen river that runs north-south, and there is a bridge that's made up of what looks like sheet metal with some electronic wiring tubing and water tubing running underneath it. And it doesn't look like it's big enough that you could drive an ATV over it, but looking at this bridge, you're like, I don't want to drive an ATV over it, because it looks like anything that heavy is going to cripple it. And then this is the landing field equipment shed. And these are fuel tanks, and according to your docking computer, the fuel tanks are full, and all you need to do is get out of the ship and go plug it in. You're not seeing any people.
Let's radio the other ship.
Yeah. Do the comms thingy jig.
You get static, like they're receiving you, but it's receiving. You're getting the green light that the connection is made, but there's nothing coming back.
I'm gonna start refueling the ship. We're gonna go plug in the shit.
Yeah, let's do first things first. Let's make sure we can leave.
Okay.
I like that idea. Yeah,
So
that is the top
tell
priority.
me about what's the atmosphere like?
Yeah,
So the
exactly
atmosphere
that.
is breathable. It is very thin. It would take you. You would have to acclimatize to it, but considering you knew you were coming here, so over the course of the last week in jump, you probably would have already adjusted your atmo so that you were acclimatizing while you were in jump, so you guys don't need to wear a mask or anything if you don't want to.
Cool. Been sort of slowly suffocating ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are feeling a little loopy. But yeah, at this level, now there are a couple of other things that you notice as you came in. One, you notice that there is an extinct volcano, a shield type volcano, which is just a low mound, and there's a big crater. Seems that this planet in its distant past had a very volcanic structure. All of that is gone now, and in this crater there is an observatory. So there's another structure in the volcano crater that you passed over, and you could see that there was an observatory there. That's the only other outbuilding that you saw.
Yeah.
Now, So Bocephus, are you going to go plug in the fuel hose, or what are you doing?
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna scoop up my my piston fist that I hope you let me buy there in the Imperium space.
So
And
we're kind of landed here. Is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're over here. So like where this arrow says to Rift Hauler 5A7, you're over in that direction. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my piston fist and my gauze rifle and the pistol on my side. Gonna be armed up, and I'm
Okay.
gonna have my best cloth armor on, which is about all I have. Because I didn't
Cloth armor lab coat.
Yeah. And
Yeah, you should get a cloth jacket and have it tailored to be a lab coat.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and head on out to start plugging it in. I'm gonna look around as I move along.
So you notice two things. You see that from this equipment shed, when you go to get the cabling from the.
I'll go with him. Too,
okay. So you guys, when you go to the equipment shed, you notice that everything in there is very neatly organized, in what would be known as naval fashion. I mean, everything is inventoried, everything is coiled up, everything's tied up. It's all nice and neat. The other thing that you notice is that the fuel tanks one set is already plugged in to Rift Hauler 5A7, but there is another hookup for another ship that you can plug into.
Gonna plug in the other ship, thing there.
So you can plug in 4A4, and that's not a problem. And these fuel cables, there's two hookups. One for pumping fuel. The other one will run your ship off of station batteries rather than your own batteries.
I think I'm okay with that. I mean,
is it an actual fuel line that's hooked up to Rift Hauler 5A7, or is it just the battery one?
It's both power and fuel.
Okay. Does it look like it's still pumping to 5A7?
That's a very.
If I feel the hose, can I feel like fluid moving in it, or I guess I don't know how that works.
It seems like it from reading what the computer readout's telling you is that 5A7 is full.
Okay. All right, so they were in the process of refueling it and walked away. Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and shut the valve off to that
ship.
Yeah,
let's do that. Let's shut that. Let's actually go remove the hose from that other ship.
Okay.
After we get ours started first.
Yep. Get ours going, and then go unplug theirs.
Yeah. So you go over, you unplug theirs. That's not a problem. Are you going to leave the power hooked up, or are you just unplugging?
Yeah, I'll leave power hooked up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll kind of casually mention to Bocephus, I'm like, do you have the ability to check for mines?
Sure will. Life detection. It's got a wide range on it. Let's just see what's going on.
Otherwise, we can go back to the ship and scan too.
Oh man, I'll go ahead and do it. It's life detection. It's an easy check. It's got a distant reach, and it costs 1 psi point. I mean,
yeah,
it's really hard for me to screw this one up because that. So that's going to be +3. Here we go. So that's a 12 on my side check.
Okay.
So I should know what lives are around for a distant.
Okay. So actually, I want to take a look at this. I can tell you exactly. You do pick up, inside of Rift Hauler 5A7, you pick up a human. 1.
There's 1 human over in the other ship, Sarda.
They are alive.
They're alive.
Range of distant. You pick up. What is the range of distant for?
For psionic
it's pretty far. It seems like it's kilometers.
5 kilometers.
Yeah, 5 kilometers. 5 clicks. So you are picking up. You are picking up other life. I wouldn't. I don't. Functions best in detecting intelligent minds.
We're breaking the encounter.
Yeah. I'm
It's already
trying.
broken.
You are picking up other life forms coming from multiple buildings over in here, but what you're detecting is barely animal intelligence.
All right, you need to beware.
That's
Zombies.
not good.
Yeah, yeah,
more snakes with venom.
yeah. There's some kind of crazy creatures or something animal-like intelligence. I don't know.
I just don't want any more spore monsters. You can keep those.
Well, let's see.
those-
Let's see if we can't contact the person in the ship.
Oh,
Josephus, make a recon, make a difficult 10 plus recon plus intellect check.
okay. Let's see. Got 1 in recon, I believe. Looking. Recon 1, and my intellect is 1, so this will be +2. Yep. There we go. How about that?
Wow,
11.
that's nice.
So this beyond or this barely animal intelligence seems familiar to you.
Oh, it's those stupid little critters.
It's the same type of critters from the very first adventure.
Or the shit that's on the ship that got wiped out.
Yeah.
So you guys want to try and contact the human?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a person on that ship. Let's try to.
How do you want to go about that?
Well, they're not responding to comms. We have to go to the ship and try to enter it.
So you get to Rift Hauler 5A7, and the ship is locked. The door's locked. Now,
Do our
No,
access codes?
you have access codes. In fact, you have a universal, an emergency access code. That doesn't work, and that can only mean one thing, and that means that the captain of this ship, well, either the captain, the first officer, or the chief engineer, put the ship in lockdown mode. Now, lockdown mode means that the only way to open it would be to have the ident card from the captain, first officer, or chief engineer, and their passcode.
The layout of this ship. I mean, does it actually have windows or anything like that, or is it just
It
sort
does.
of just okay? Well, let's look for a window and maybe.
In fact, I can here. This is the two ships are identical. This is the layout of a rift hauler.
All right, perfect. So let's try climbing up here. All right, is that the window on this thing? I don't know.
There would be a viewport here at the bridge.
Okay, so let's go to that viewport and start tapping on it and see if we can't get somebody's attention.
Sure will.
Maybe get like something to write.
So you don't see anybody in the bridge, and you kind of climb up there and you're looking through. You don't see anybody on the bridge.
Okay.
But looking through, what you can see is that all of the screens they're black with a big circle and a red X through it, showing that the ship when it goes into lockdown, everything's shut off. They can't fly it. They can't use sensors. They can't use communications. The doors are all locked. It's stuck.
All right. Well, start tapping on it. I've got something metal, and start just tapping on the window in a like a SOS type pattern.
Okay, so you're tapping on the window in an SOS type pattern, and you see somebody come onto the bridge. Find her.
It's a space vampire.
Why not?
I'm gonna probably, while all this is doing, I'm gonna radio back to the crew and let
Yeah.
everybody know, kind of updated all the
Sure.
crap you just sat through.
Yeah, well, I probably would let them know what we're doing, right? While we're doing it, hey, this other ship's hooked up to the fuel line. I'm going to unconnect the fuel line.
Yeah.
Huh, I did not. So you see this woman, a very young woman, come up onto the bridge. She looks fairly bedraggled. She is, and she, at first, kind of is fearful when she sees you looking through the window, and then she kind of realizes that you're actually here to help, and she gets super excited. Of course, you can't hear anything she has to say.
Right. So I'll take out my personal computer, my computer, and make the font real big, and basically just type what happened and hold that to the window. And
she finds a tablet.
Something to write on.
Yeah, good. and she writes out. She says she's not. She holds it up and it says, "Not sure. Captain locked down ship for safety and left." This was. She says
back
1 week ago.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'll write back. Where to?
She erases it and writes down that she saw that he took an air raft, and she points. Hold on here. Let me bring up that other map.
We should be able to spot an air raft with sensors. That's good.
And she points. So the volcano is back in this direction, and she points that he took off in this direction.
Okay.
We got to take the vehicle if we're gonna go tracking that down. That sounds like that kind of adventure.
Yeah, there's another one here.
Yeah, where do I recognize this life sense from? Is it from the fungus, or is it from the?
You don't know. It just seems familiar to you.
I'll tell that in confidence to Sarda, my fellow psionic.
All right. What happened to everyone else?
She writes down she's not sure, but she hasn't seen anybody, and she's not aware of. She doesn't know what's going on.
All right. Are you good on food and water?
She says she is. I mean,
Okay.
I mean, she's the only one on the ship, so she could potentially live, eat, and breathe and drink for a good month and a half. 2 months.
All right. So she seems safe. That's good. All right. So, but it sounds like she's not really able to help us other than.
That's all she knows.
But evidently we need to find the captain and the second, and we need to get their credentials off their corpses if they're dead, and bring it back to the ship to unlock it.
She does tell you. She said that she did see 2 other people get into an air raft and head off towards the observatory. So there were 2 air rafts that left. Nobody's come back.
When did they leave to the observatory?
Roughly about the same time the captain left off to the northwest. I mean, it might have been like an hour, maybe 2 hours after.
Let's see, what else can we ask her?
Should I put my environment suit on in case we need to go check these strange?
Yeah.
You can, yeah.
Yeah, I figure I'm wearing that camouflage and field garb. I really like that stuff. It's not great armor, but the fact that it protects against heat and cold and it gives you a bonus on stealth is nice. So yeah, but you're right. A vac suit might be better if we're dealing with the potential. If we're dealing with what we dealt with on the other ship.
We can wear cloth underneath the vac suit.
We may want a vac suit up for this. All right.
Want to do that.
So basically so I'm just gonna say, so you arrived, the captain left you on board, and that was that, or how long have you been here?
They arrived. There was a party in the social hut number 7 down here, and she says she left the party early and she wanted to do some last minute stuff. She's supposed to be the ship's engineer, and she is happy to admit that she is highly underqualified for the position. She's basically qualified to be a second string maintenance tech, but that's all they had, and so they put her as chief engineer. But they didn't give her any of the ranks and benefits of being a chief engineer. And she wanted to double check some things on the ship, make sure that they were ready to take off. And then the next thing that she knew, the captain had put the ship into lockdown and he told her to stay here, put the ship into the lockdown, and left. And she hasn't seen, other than those 2 air rafts leaving, she hasn't seen anything since. And that was, a week ago.
Okay. I'll just write back. It doesn't sound like anyone else survived. So we're gonna go look for the captain.
She gets a little panicky and says, "Maybe it was a hell of a party."
Yeah. I would say don't leave, but I don't think that's an issue.
She says, "Don't worry, I'll be right here."
Yeah.
Guess we're headed over.
So we're all right. So and I'll just tell her we may tap on this window again if we need to talk to you in the future. If you have no access to radio, do you have a transponder or any type of radio?
She shakes her head no.
Don't people own cell phones? Jesus, this is
ridiculous. She probably does own a mobile comm, but there's no network here.
Yeah,
she doesn't have a transceiver, so.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, we'll tap on the window. Yeah.
At least we've established.
She gives thumbs up.
Let's go back to the ship and decontaminate ourselves and vac suit up.
Serna's in the decon chamber. I can't get clean. I can't get clean.
Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah, I will stress there's a strange presence that I can't identify that I feel.
Yeah. Let's go get ultravioleted.
A presence I felt before. All right, so we're going to go ahead and give you guys a week to plan what you can think for a week about what you want to do heading. You've got a couple of air rafts that you can chase down. You can go into these buildings, determine what happened here at the base. You got some things to think about and lead into our session for next week, and we'll pick up Candling Station next week at 7:00 on Friday night.
Sounds good.
All right,
guys.
Have a good night, guys. I'll see you next week.
Okay.
All right. Take care.